Hello, and welcome to Simplicity Engine 101. In this tutorial, I want to show you how easy it is to create backend flows and applications by using Simplicity Engine, as well as how easy it is also to scale them or to grow them when your needs change or simply when time goes by. For this example, I will create an HTTP endpoint that will take our requests and do something about them, basically. So first thing I need to do is I'm going to drag and drop this HTTP in block. This is basically creating an HTTP endpoint, as I said. And if I click on it, on the right hand side, you can see all the parameters and variables that can be customized for this particular block. For instance, the name is a unique identifier for each block, and we're gonna give the name HTTP greet for this block. And then also one other things that we need to configure is the path. The path is going to be basically formed with the URL of the Simplicity Engine server that's running this service, plus the path that we give here. In this case, we're going to use greet. And the content type of this server that this server is going to serve is going to be HTML for now. But we can use any kind of content we want. We can do HTML, we can do plain text, we can do JSON, applications, octet stream, stuff like that. Anything you need, basically. Then, as I mentioned, this HTTP block is just getting requests, but not doing much about them. And then we need some processing. And for that, I'm going to go to the route section. And I'm going to add this stub block. A stub is a block that is basically ending a flow gracefully, and it's providing you with a response code and a response reason. I'm going to name this block friends, and then the response code is going to be 200. That's for an OK response. And then for now, I'm going to have the server respond with a hello world. The only thing that's missing now is basically to tell the HTTP in block that whenever it gets a request, it needs to go and send it to friends1, which is this one, to be processed, basically. Now I just need to save the flow, and I'm gonna call it greeting. Saved, and it's added to Simplicity Engine. Then if I want to test it, I can just open a browser and go to the URL of the Simplicity Engine that's running this service, plus the path that we specified in the GUI. I just load this page, and I'm gonna be having a hello world as a response, as it was expected, basically. So there you go. You created a web server that is serving a hello world page right now. You can basically style the text as much as you want. For instance, let's have it page 1, and that's gonna come as a header. It's going to make text bigger. I need to change something. I just change it, save flow, and it's updated successfully. If I reload, I'm gonna get it as big as a header of header 1. I'm gonna set it back to plain text, and then I'm gonna turn it plain text. Text plain. Save it. And now this web server is going to serve hello world in plain text. See how it changes? It's not Times New Roman anymore. It's just computer plain text, basically. Now our service is getting boring, and it just says hello world to everybody. So what we want to do to attract more users is to make it personal. We want to add a customized personal message for our users. So in that case, we just need to go to the stub and the message, change the message from hello world to whatever we want to say. In this case, we're going to respond with hello query.name, and I'm going to explain this now, and then query.lastName. So basically, I'm going to request my users to send me a parameter called name and a parameter called last name in the HTTP query. And then I'm gonna get that, and this is the way that Simplicity Engine has to access these parameters. So what I'm going to present is that you're gonna tell me your name and your last name, and I'm gonna say hello to you. As simple as that. I just say flow, and it's done. Now I go to Postman, and then say Mr. John Doe is coming and using our service. So as you can see, this is the URL again. Our Simplicity Engine /greet, and then it's sending me the HTTP query with two parameters: name equals John and last name equals Doe. Remember, these are the names that we got in our Simplicity Engine GUI. And then I click on send, and see I get this hello John Doe. And then Jane also comes and requests to be greeted, and then of course we say to her hello Jane Doe as well. Now, John and Jane are talking and telling the friends, and we're getting famous because we're a nice service, which is just calling you by your name. So we get a massive user base, and we want to restrict access to some people. There are some people that we don't want them to have access to this. So we're going to do some filtering here. So I'm gonna just need another stub, which is, so this one is for our friends. This one is going to be, I'm gonna call it faux. This is going to respond to the people basically we don't like. Since we don't like them, we're gonna return an HTTP 500 error to them. And basically the same way, you're gonna say you're not welcome. Again, query whatever your name is, query dot last name. That's it. So if you're a friend of mine, you'll go here. If you're not a friend of mine, you'll go here. I just need some logic to get you here or there. So I just need to drag and drop a choice block. Now choice is just gonna let me choose a path or another depending on a test, on a logical test. I'm gonna just name it choice as it is right now. And then what's it gonna do is basically when the query name is John, I take you to 4.1, otherwise it's gonna get you to friends 1. See, it's very graphical too, because it's telling you this is the path that we're gonna take in this case. Otherwise, well, this is the default one. The only thing that's missing now is to tell the HTTP in block that instead of going to friends, now you have to go to choice. And as simple as that, I just click on save, and everything is ready and updated. I just go to Postman, and then Jane comes back, and we like Jane. So we just say, hello, Jane Doe. However, John, we're not friends anymore. So he comes back and says, hey, greet me. And then we say, you're not welcome, John Doe. Get out of here. So that's it. So we have a personal service and we have filtering, but now we feel that our service needs to grow in some way. So we want to add more features to our service. So let's put this here aside. And for instance, we want to provide to these users weather for their locations. Fortunately, I find an internet server that provides weather information through an API. So, for instance, if I call this web service, I get the weather for this location, which happens to be Paris. I just need to call this URL from Simplicity Engine, right? So I just come here, and then I'm gonna need an HTTP out block, and this HTTP out is the same thing. Name is going to be a unique name. We'll just leave it like that. The URL I'm gonna call is that one, but I'm going to replace the latitude with whatever latitude the user is sending me, and same thing with the longitude. I'm going to use whatever longitude came in the query. The rest I leave it like that, and then the HTTP action is going to be a get. We don't need no username or password or API keys or anything. It's just a plain get to this URL as you saw in the browser. So this is going to get us the weather report. For the people that we don't want to have access to this weather, we just keep them here. However, when we want to authorize the call, we need to tell the choice that the default is going to be now the HTTP out. Now, once we authorize this call, it will go to HTTP out. We get the weather report, and then after that, we just go to the friends block and basically return whatever we want to return. The only thing that's missing then is basically come here and add the weather report to the response. So we still have hello, query name, query last name, the weather in, and then if you come here and check the response, the name of the city is called just plain name. So that's what we use. The weather name is, and then what's the weather report like is basically within a nested structure. So it's weather dot description. So weather dot description, and that's basically it. So I just save the flow, and the service is finished. So I just go to my postman, and Jane's gonna come to me and say, hey, this is my location, this is my latitude, this is my longitude, this is my name, basically, this is who I am. So I just click on send, and I'm gonna get the weather report for Jane, which is hello, Jane Doe. The weather in New York City is broken clouds right now. But if I am John Doe and I want to make use of the service and I'm coming with my latitude and longitude, still I'm going to get you're not welcome, John Doe, because still we're not friends with you. So this is basically how we see it is to create and maintain a service with Simplicity Engine. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks a lot for watching. Bye.